Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to FM23 Newton Heath, episode 13. Will we strike lucky in episode number 13? We're going to get through at least that first half of the season, I think, probably within this one episode. Reason being, we put together a decent squad, all things considered, especially considering we can't pay any of them. And the only way that things are going to suddenly go sour on us is if they all decide that they don't want to be here anymore. And as long as we're getting some results, I don't think that's going to be an issue. Right now, our best player, Jack Tierney, is seen as a Vanarama North standard player. So we have a wide array of average players for the league. We don't have any stars, and so I don't think we're going to win a ton of games, but we don't have any position weaknesses anymore. We have shored up the squad, the first 11, and the players beneath, really. So with players that can play at this level, we're going to win some games. Speaking of, following that close loss at the beginning of the season where we had given up 3 goals on 2 shots and had at least been equal to, and certainly as the game went on and in the later stages better than, but coming out on the losing end to Darlington, which Darlington was one of the favorites to go up. So coming away from that almost with a result anyway, with, we didn't quite get FM'd there, right? It wasn't like 30 shots to 2 and you lose 1-0. But, let's be real. Giving up 3 goals on 2 shots is pretty much the equivalent of getting FM'd. We weren't bagging a ton of chances, but pretty much fits that definition. Anyway, we've come off of that with 2 lower teams as opposition and huge results, including a 6-0 hammering against Nuneaton Borough. 6-0. Biggest win in the history of the club. Obviously, we're only in year 2, but massive. Ebanks with 2 goals. Cooper with 2 goals. Andrew and George, 2 of the guys that I wouldn't even place necessarily as starters, though Ebanks is right now a starter as we lost out on, a key signing, and it kind of put him back into the side. He did finish the season as a regular go-to guy. That's a sign of where we're at. So I do think we're going to be able to progress pretty quickly because a Novak penalty also gave us a road victory to push forward. In fact, let's just start pushing forward. I'm going to go forward 6 matches. We'll see where this team is. I may or may not be adding any more to the roster in the short term. We've dried up the available players for now. It is going to slow that pace down, but I'll keep an eye out. We'll see if we can bring any more in, and hopefully we don't lose any in the meantime. 6 matches, 3 wins, and a draw, 2 losses, and amazingly, it's been, for the most part, I think 4 or 5 out of the 6 matches have been against top teams in the league. So we've performed pretty well to get 10 points out of that stretch. It's not top of the league kind of stuff, but it's solid performances. Another 4-0 win. At home, 2 wins and a draw. On the road, a win and 2 losses, but that's still 3 points from 3. Team looking pretty solid. 9 matches into the season, 16 points, and look where we're at, 5th place, right where we're predicted to be, and that's with the assistant manager handling things. But at the same time, as we noted last season, the assistant manager is technically a better coach than our primary player is, our primary manager. We do have a different assistant manager this year, but it's still, I think he's actually better than the one we had a year ago. But 5 wins, draw, 3 losses on the season so far, and a plus 12 goal differential is showing that, we're a team that's pretty capable. We've already played Banbury and Kingsland, and I think we've played Telford, and a lot of those teams in the upper mid part of the table. Not many of those teams down here near the bottom. That second and third game that we got wins on against those 2, but that's been about it from the bottom half of the table thus far. Novak already has 11 goals and a 7.5 rating. He's doing solid in his job. Over that period of just over a month, I did lose one player, but it was only a backup who wasn't happy about not playing. And then Oliver Hammond was a signing equal on top with Charlie Wilson, who I was just showing you a moment ago. Another really good addition, defensive midfielder. Not a huge upgrade on Marriott, but he's like a +1 in everywhere on the web to Marriott. And you can see how he's a very solid, very average, very round web player. He's got like a 9 or a 10 in just about everything. And with only a few exceptions, and most of those exceptions are only, slightly off of that. He's got a stamina of 14. He's got a long throws of 3 and free kick taking of 5, but everything else, 8, 9, 10, 11. He's a player who just had his first appearance for the club, as we only just recently signed him, and he got a goal on his debut. FA Cup, second qualifying round, and you're on the road at Belper, who are 2 tiers below us. One tier below us. 7th tier, we're 6th. So just 1 tier below. And a club that I believe was in the 6th tier not long ago. So they're fairly close to our level. A year ago, this would have been a tough match, or maybe a balanced match. The time that we would have played them, as Page goes really close and we nearly pounce on the rebound, but we get that one away. Tierney, Huggill. Going to play a half today. He's just coming back from injury, and Novak, 12th goal of this season, finishes that one off, and we lead 1-0 inside the first 20 minutes. Tierney has already picked up a yellow, but otherwise things going well thus far. Goes off the wall and out for a corner. They're going to get another chance at this one here, just inside the half-hour mark. And we're definitely not dominating this match by any stretch of the imagination. We've been the better team, and we have a deserved lead, but we're not crushing them the way we did some of our opponents during preseason. It looks like that took a deflection on the rebound attempt there, and Novak clears that away. We're not able to possess. Hammond, dangerous tackle, but does win the ball. And you can see it's our midfield that's starting to control. And this was the problem last year. The midfield was weak and wasn't controlling matches, and now we're starting to see this season the opposite. But outside of the goal, we have not done much here in the first half. Shots are equal, though. All right. So, Huggill, I'm going to bring him off here very, very soon. He was cleared to play 75, so we've only played him 45 so far, but we are not firmly in control of this just yet. So I'll give him another 5 minutes or so and then bring him off as the fullback, Page, steps up, takes that one. Tierney, Novak puts it in the back of the net, but somebody was called offside. I didn't see it. I thought they had a man on the line. In fact, I thought they had a guy on both posts there. That doesn't seem likely. It wasn't a corner kick. So my eyes are playing tricks on me. Clearly, they wouldn't have had somebody on the corner in that type of situation, as Wilson goes awfully close there and at the hour mark. Let's go and get Huggill out of there. Get Marriott on. Might bring. There you go. Novak makes it a brace. Good finish there, too. Didn't have a ton of power on it, but he put that in the perfect spot. I mean, that brushed the inside of the post. Bottom corner, keeper probably should have done better with that one, but that's so well placed that, against somebody at this level, that's going to do the trick. 64th minute, and let's go ahead and sub out Andrew for somebody who's looking to maybe do a little bit better. Domtier, new signing, or Yusuf. Yusuf has not had an appearance, and they get one back. Free kick in a dangerous spot. Didn't see the foul that led up to it, but the wall does not do its job. In fact, the wall was not terribly well placed. They needed to be a bit further over anyway. Still might not have kept that out if they were over that half step. Marriott can't win that ball. Kigbu sub will have to wait. I want to get Kigbu on to get him a little. Clayton carried that one out. I want to get Kigbu on before the end of this game so he at least has some minutes in the side because he's thinking about leaving. Not a player that I necessarily want to leave. I'm not too worried if he does leave as we have some depth ahead of him. Clayton grabs that one. Let's go ahead and go balanced from here. Page, free kick. Cleared out. Jessup, nice recovery. Ebanks lays it off though. Another long ball over the top. Novak wins it. Lays it off for a teammate. Ebanks is going to get to this one. He's going to turn. Beats his man. Sets up Cooper inside, and Cooper scores, and that seals the deal. Now we can go for the sub. Wilson is both tired and now on a yellow card, so let's go ahead and bring Kigbu on for him. That cross, Clayton comes and claims it. Aggressive sweep there from Clayton, and he gets the job done. And we move on in the FA Cup to the third qualifying round. I believe we made it to the fourth last season. I think we should do as well, if not better, this year. Novak has claimed Player of the Month in the league after scoring 7 times in 5 appearances with a near 7.8 rating. So we're now 2 months away from moving into the new stadium and that big change beginning to happen. Financially, we're fine until we get to that point, but balance is building, as we go along so far with, a slight positive, about 50,000 monthly so far since we've started the season, with the off season being the only period where we really lost any substantial cash. Now the squad continues to go in the right direction. I've released players from the bottom of the roster, about 3 of them, and what I've brought in, Harry Parrott, another player near the top, fairly good, not great, he's good. The guy he's replacing, he's a little bit faster, a little bit more offensive minded, and yeah, it's a boost. And the other player we've brought in, Jordan Holm, comes in as a player scout, and you can see how he's similar to Novak play style wise, but he's a little bit faster than Novak is. Novak's a little bit better with his head. Now, Novak's scoring tons of goals, and I'm not about to displace him, but Holm becomes a great option off the bench for us. And happy to have him around. He's happy to play as a squad player. I think the AI may pick him relatively often, but Novak, 16 goals in 16 appearances, including a Player of the Month recently, so you don't want to take that away from him. However, he's not performed lately. After beating Barwell in the third qualifying round of the FA Cup, we've lost 4 straight, 3 of those in the league, all by a single goal. 3 of those 4 were on the road. One of those against Gateshead, who is a tier above us, and on the road. So not terrible. Cam Worth is leading the league. FC United, though, good on them for coming away with that one after we led early. FC United of Manchester is pretty much the club that we are, just the real life version. It's a protest club over Manchester United, and FC United is a publicly owned team that climbed quite quickly. They were in the 6th tier, had dropped down to the 7th. They're back up to the 6th tier now. And yeah, they are every bit what we are supposed to be, except for they've climbed that ladder to get there, other than the giant stadium part of the experiment. And if they were in the 6th tier a year ago, we very well could have just played as FC United of Manchester and had a normal playthrough, but good on them for getting back up here, and I suppose good on them for beating us. But with 4 straight losses and 3 of those in the league, we have fallen quite a bit. We're down to 15th, but 17 points from 13 played with a +9 goal differential. Totally fine. It's really not a big deal, especially considering where we were this time a year ago, and really where we were in terms of the schedule so far this season, because of those 13 played, we have played way more top half of the table teams than bottom half of the table teams. And so there's quite a few matches left against, teams like 13th and below over the next 10. And so I think we'll bounce back, and we've got 2 months until the money starts rolling in and things begin to change. I hope we don't immediately go semi-pro, actually, because we've managed to put together a pretty decent squad and not have to pay them. The longer we can hold out on that is actually better for the long term of the save, because we can focus with really rapid finances on getting a youth team going, building the training facilities, doing that kind of behind the scenes stuff that will make us a more successful team long term. Quickly go semi-pro and start paying a bunch of money, well, we won't have as much for the other projects, but we're going to have a lot of money coming in. That much is quite clear. So I think maybe we could probably manage to do both quite early. Still a team that is underperforming, at least on paper, but again, without any stars and without any good management or direction or me intervening personally, it's expected that this team's just gonna back and forth and hover and do their thing. But one thing that has happened is the form has definitely improved from where we had the 4 straight losses. From the beginning of November, we bounced back, we got a win, 3-0, and then we had 2 straight draws, lost a close one against a very good Boston United, and then finished up the month with yet another draw. Now, all in all, that's only 6 points from 5 matches played. It's not great, but we only lost once, which is much better than the 4 straight losses that we had. So far through half of December, we've had 2 FA Trophy games, and we actually got out of that second round this time where we start the competition. We had Buxton, we drew at home, and then we drew on the road, and then we beat them in penalties. But then Billericay beats us 2-0, and they're at the bottom of the league. So no, it's not fantastic. We're not great. We have our struggles, but we follow that up with a win against another team at the bottom of the league. So the form is very much not good right now. The morale is not that high. And we have an FA Trophy 3rd round match coming up. We have Buxton in the league soon after that. So, it is a league opponent that we played those 2 times. And then Gloucester coming up to round out the month of December. We will have a home game right away on the 1st of January against Darlington. We should have the stadium on that day, hopefully not the following day. We'll see if that's the case, but that's going to be the beginning of the new era. You would hope we would be higher than 14th, but 14th is comfortable. It's not relegation. It's not close to relegation. We're 8 points above that, and we're 4 points away from promotion playoffs. It's a close league. We still have that nice +10 goal differential, and if we can get the morale a little bit higher, if we can make a few changes in the next month or so, you could see us getting into those promotion playoffs maybe by the end of the season. Kings Lynn, Boston United, Blyth, they might be a bit out of reach, 10 plus points ahead of us, but we're still not even quite halfway. We've got 3 matches to go until we're halfway. I do like our chances. We have Buxton again coming up, and they're right down near the bottom of the league, actually. I like our schedule for those next 3, 4, 5 matches. I think we can probably get some results in the near future that could see us climb back up into that upper half and, right back where the team needs to be. So all in all, it's not bad. It's not where we want to be at this point, but I have no problem being there because this season was really about just getting into the new stadium after where we ended up last season, and the fact that we didn't lose those players through the off season, that we've kept the team together, has suggested that, hey, keep going, put your head down and just get into January where we'll start to see. So with that being the case, I'm happy. I'm content here in the middle of December. A couple more weeks to go and the stadium coming, and that's where we will pick up with our next episode. That's going to do it for this one. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.